I'm Alex Coleman. It's going to be another busy day for the Memphis-Shelby County School Board. Members are gathering for committee meetings this afternoon ahead of a work session tonight. School closures and policies tied to spending and the evaluation of the interim superintendent are among the items on the agenda. All this as state lawmakers consider what some have called a takeover of the school district. Joining me now with her thoughts on the future of MSCS is former school board chair Bishop Althea Green. Bishop Green, welcome back to 3 at 3. So good to see you as always.
So honored to be here with you.
My pleasure. Let's first of all start with judge's ruling yesterday, essentially saying that the Shelby County commissioners exceeded their authority in allowing all of the MSCS races for 2026. Your thoughts? Was this the right ruling, and did the county commissioners go too far?
Well, I respect the judge's decision. I think some of the county commissioners felt that it needed to be decided in court anyway, and so I think it ended where it landed is where it ended yesterday. I think it was the correct ruling. When people vote and they elect people to serve, I don't think we have the autonomy to decide that we're going to cut your terms. So I think it was an overstep and overreach, and I was very excited about the verdict.
Because some of those terms for at least, 5 of those members would have been slashed in half.
At least 2 years.
Yes.
Which would have had them campaigning again, having to raise funds in this busy election season. So I'm excited that they will get to complete their terms.
Let's move on. Let's talk about Representative Mark White yesterday on 3 at 3, sharing his thoughts about the pending MSCS audit and some of the findings that he says are, quote, very, very eye-opening and troubling when it comes to MSCS, the school district. What do you think?
I found those comments to be very alarming, very concerning, but I would have to say, in all honesty, I have not read the report. The public has not been made aware of those findings, so I'm waiting to read and to hear. But Alex, I think we really need to educate the public around the difference between an audit that the district gets each year and a forensic audit. Because someone asked me, well, what is the difference? The audit that the board gets each year is simply kind of balancing the budgets with the books. But a forensic audit is more detailed. It's more about the operations, it's more about the internal things that happen. And so I am looking forward to hearing more about that report. I've heard from our senator and our representative.
Sure.
I've watched them on different shows, read their comments, and you know, they are alarming, they are concerning, but until I can really read something and have something in front of me, I will have more to say about it.
He was also saying it kind of points to some recent years issues involving accountability of records, things dealing with contracts, things dealing with just basic record keeping, things of that nature. Do you think in those recent years were things at the school board that out of control when it comes to overseeing the district?
I remember during my tenure as board chair, there was some questions about contracts. And so if a contract was $100,000, it didn't come before the board. And I remember when the interim superintendent was there, we put a new policy in place and some guardrails so that we had an opportunity to see all contracts over a certain dollar amount. And so I think when you have a district this size, of course a forensic audit, you spend $6 million, $2 more million, $8 million. Yes, they are going to come up with something, but I think we will have to hear what those findings are and work on a corrective formula to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
I'm sure you might not be surprised here. Representative White also went on to say, based on the information that he's seen so far, that a state intervention, as he calls it, or as some people call it, a takeover of the school district is needed.
I have always supported intervention. You have heard me say every time that I believe some intervention from the state is needed, but we've never discussed what that looks like. And so I think I'm hearing the same reports that you're hearing, reading the same remarks. Alex, and I'm sure the state takeover, and we don't like the word takeover, the state intervention will happen. But I'm concerned about the advisory board, as I've heard them talk about it. Now, I am excited to hear that when Representative White, Senator Taylor saying, well, I think we'll just support just one instead of trying to get this bill and this bill. I'm happy they have reached an agreement about the bill, but I'm concerned with the advisory board. And this board that will have to work with our elected board, will this board represent the diversity of the district? When you think about Memphis Shelby County Schools, a district of over 100,000 children, African American children, Latino children, white children, all children, will that board reflect the diversity of this district? And I'll be watching, because in order to help this district, you will have to have people who understand the children that make up Memphis Shelby County Schools.
Where do we go from here also with the search for the next superintendent? Should there be one? Has Dr. Richmond made his case for being the right person at the right time? Because obviously there's still, you know, a lot of debate over school improvement, accountability, issues like that.
From my personal perspective, I'm still concerned that they stabilized the district. When Dr. Richmond was made the interim superintendent, we talked about someone coming in, someone working. You know, when you look at the test scores from last year, Dr. Whitelaw and the academic team, the leaders in the building, the teachers in the building, I give them credit for those scores because we kind of switched superintendents doing that. But I would still say at this season, we need to stabilize the district. We need to make sure that we are investing in programs that are going to help our students academic. Let's make sure that principals and teachers are getting the funding and the support they need. And so I wouldn't be interested in the search at this time, Alex, nor would I be concerned with making someone the superintendent. I would focus on the main thing. The main thing is always about the students.
One last thing very quickly here. Did the school board do the right thing last year when they terminated former superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans? Because obviously this got the ball rolling for all these things we've already discussed.
Absolutely, yes. They did what they were elected to do. They had one employee to manage. And if there was a problem with that one employee and they could not reach an agreement, then yes, I support their decision.
Althea Green, always glad to have you back on 3-3.
Always good to be here and keep it real with you.
Yeah.